Okay. Rav Yossi, you requested we start with something you don't know. That was the request?
Yeah.
We're going to try. This is Chidushay Torah. We're going to try. I try not. I don't like repeating things. After everything, you just told me the name. I forgot the name already. Okay. We're going to learn the Zecher Nishmas. First, a yahrzeit from last night is Gustav Parshas Vayishlach HaKayin, and a yahrzeit for tonight and tomorrow. Siyat Shmai Li'inash Svi Hersh Ben Peretz. They should go Mechael and Chayil higher and higher, closer and closer to the Kisei HaKavod B'Siyata Dishmai. So the famous fight, Yaakov Avinu, this is a fight we'll probably talk more about because certain parts of the parsha you can't skip over. Yaakov Avinu is fighting with the Saroi Shel Esav. Who was the Saroi Shel Esav? Samuel. The Samach Mem, as some like to refer to. So first of all, why was his name Samuel? I think this is Rav Yossi. You know this one? Why was his name Samuel? What? No. Okay, good. No, why was his name Samuel? No. We don't know? Okay. The Kli Yakar says, because the word Samuel comes from the word Sama, to blind. That what does the Samach Mem, what does the Yetzer Hara do to us? It blinds us. It makes us think things that we can't do, we can't do. But the Baal HaTurim is absolutely astounding. Vayigaf bekaf yerechayu. The angel hits Yaakov Avinu in his kaf yerecha, in his thigh, and this was ultimately why we don't eat sirloin, why we don't eat kiddah nasha. Parenthetically, they point out. No, let's not get sidetracked. Maybe we'll get there soon. So Baal HaTurim says he hit him in the thigh. Vayigaf bekaf yerechayu. Why? Why hit him in the thigh? Why? What? No. Why did he hit him in the thigh? That's where he could reach. Okay, so I heard two beautiful pshat. And the Baal HaTurim says from a Yerushalmi, what is the difference between a malach and a human? There's two fundamental differences between malachim and human beings. Oh, very good. That's the Yerushalmi. Says the Baal HaTurim, the malach, the samach mem, was not able to tell lirois imchu malach kemoisai. Let's just picture the scene. We have Yaakov Avinu. We have an angel, the Sarei Shel Esav, the Samach Mem, the Yetzer Hara. They're seemingly in hand-to-hand combat, which obviously can't mean something as simple as hand-to-hand combat. And the Malach HaMaves can't understand, why am I not destroying this guy? Doesn't make any sense. I'm a Malach. He's a human being. He didn't know if he was a Malach. He started thinking, maybe this guy's a Malach. So what do? He hit him in the thigh, lirois, to see, is he a malach or not? How could he tell? If he has joints. If he has joints. Shamalachim ein lam kfatzim, according to Yerushalmi, malachim have no joints. The kaf yerechai begamatria b'lepaslei min hakahuna. That's the second shot. Second shot is he wanted to give him a mum. Okay, that's nice. But what's nicer, not that we like to rank Divrei Torah, but what's nicer is that the angel wasn't sure maybe this entity is a malach in front of myself. Therefore, he hit him in the joint. What was Yaakov Avinu doing that he appeared like an angel? Fighting. Al Kain Karei Shema Yisrael. Why? Kisarisa. 1 second. What does the pasuk end off with? Vatuchal. He's fighting with the angel. So because your name is no longer going to be Yaakov, it's going to be Yisrael. Why? Because you fought and you won. So what should we have named Klal Yisrael? Tichel. I like that. It's better than Tuchel. It sounds better that way. Tichel. We should have been Bnei Tichel. We should have been the children of winners. No, we're Bnei Yisrael. Because what's the important Nikuda? Sarisa, the fight. I heard from a very famous mashkiach last week. He said, the famous song that everyone loves singing now, and I love the song myself, you fall down, you get back up. It's a beautiful song. Shevi Yipol Tzadik V'Kam, you have to come. But he said, sometimes you have to be careful. You're singing so much about falling. We don't need to always fall. If you fall, yes, get back up. If you get into a battle, you have to fight. But let's just sometimes we hear he was saying, he said he's a mashkiach in the yeshiva. You sing to your kids so many times about falling, you don't realize maybe you're giving them ideas. You're telling them that they have to fall. Subliminally, they're hearing. So, okay, kisarisa, that's what we're called, Klal Yisrael. And when we're doing that, we appear like malachim. But how does the story end? The story ends, finally the battle's over, And what does Yaakov Avinu turns to Malach and he says, bless me. Give me a bracha. Asks the Piazetzner Rebbe, asks the Ish Kodesh, why did Yaakov Avinu want a bracha from the Malach? Yaakov Avinu already received a bracha from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why did he need a bracha from the Malach? V'navan. And we have to understand, no. Lama hayetzarech Yaakov Avinu shesarei shal isav yivarchu. Halikvar Baruch Hu Hashem. Beautiful question. We could ask maybe even a little bit just to play out the question. What's going on over here? They're in hand-to-hand combat. He just went back to pick up the Pachim Ketanim. We know all the Torahs, that what were the Pachim Ketanim? They were the nace of Hanukkah. They were the jugs of oil. Okay, he has this incredible battle. He finally wins. And now, so get out of there. You win the battle. Your family's waiting for you. No, wait, I need a bracha. Why? Furthermore, ask the Ish Kodesh, Hashem already blessed him. Maybe we're thinking, what do you mean? Wherever we go, you meet the Rebbe, you meet this, you ask for a bracha. Never forget, I bumped into Rav Shmuel Kamenetsky, literally bumped into. I was at a chasana, and I was walking out, and in walks Rav Shmuel, and he's like walking himself. I'm like, Rav Shmuel Kamenetsky, like what? He's just like, walking in. 2 times I bumped into Rav Shmuel, just like chilling, ki'ilu. He walks in myself. So what do you do? What is any normal Jew when you see Gadol Adar? The bathroom will wait a moment. You pause. Shalom Aleichem. Can I have a bracha? The second time I bumped into Rav Shmuel, a godless story of Elias Svei's Levaya. I don't know if anyone remembers. Levaya was in Philly, and then it was in JFK before they flew him to Eretz Yisrael. So Levaya in JFK, all the yeshivas went. And so we're all standing there outside JFK, having absolutely no clue what's going on. There's just tens of thousands of people milling around. Unfortunately, these Levayas become like a shtickle party. You get to meet all your friends you haven't seen in a while. You go out for lunch. Okay, I'm sitting there, it's starting to rain. And then I look next to me and Shmuel Kamenetsky, what are you doing here? I wasn't on the dais, Chaver. I was just standing somewhere amongst a few thousand people. And slowly, everyone there realizes that Shmuel is standing with us. So everyone's like, Shmuel, what are we supposed to do now? So someone says, does Rav Shiva want to go up to the dais? Normal question. What are you doing here? I say, no, it's okay. What? Does Shiva want to go up to the dais? No, I was ready by the Levaya in Philly. It's okay. And he just stood there like a normal Jew. Started drizzling, someone opened an umbrella. He was just standing there as if he's not the Gadol Adar. That is godless. That is absolutely... He was, good to mention. Yeah, he was not a young man, and he was just standing there. I'll tell you a similar story of Asher Eli one time. We're waiting to go into Shir. And the way that it works in the mirror, the Shir is downstairs. At the time, it was a dining room. 700 people go down one stairwell to get to Shir. So what happens? The doors open, and everyone goes in. One day, the door was locked. So what happens? Now you have a bottleneck of 700 people waiting from the door all the way up the stairs into the basement. Just everyone waiting for Shir. Okay, at least they weren't waiting for schnitzel, so there weren't people killing each other. Okay, they were just waiting for Shir. And the question is, where's Rav Asher right now? Where is he? No one's even thinking about that. I definitely wasn't. I happened to have walked outside. I don't know, I went to the bathroom, whatever the reason was, and I see it's freezing cold. It's the middle of the winter. Outside, standing Rav Asher, they're just standing like this. Now, his office, mind you, imagine we're in this house. If you were to walk through the front door, walk to my kitchen, that's where his office is. Not a very far walk. He has a little office. What's the office? It's a dorm room that they took out the bed and they put a desk in. That's Rav Asher Eli's office, largest shir in the world. So why isn't he walking to his office? So someone I saw approached him. I said, no, I don't want to have to make everyone move. Make everyone move. No. He just stood there for 10 minutes in the freezing cold, waiting. Finally, the door opens up and he goes downstairs. He knew he was. Anava doesn't mean you don't know who you are. He knows who he was. I have so many stories. I shouldn't get started. Another story, someone's moving into the Mir dorms and he's walking up the stairs carrying a suitcase. And a friend of his says, who's the old man carrying your suitcase up down there? He had 2 suitcases. He's like, what? Old man carrying my suitcase? He looks down, and Rav Asher Eli is about to pick up his suitcase and carrying it upstairs. He drops the suitcase, he runs downstairs, says, Rebbe. Well, I can't help another Jew. I don't understand. As if it's normal. It is normal. It is normal if you're godless. Okay, so where were we? We were in Yaakov Avinu. Oh, the Ish Kodesh. The Ish Kodesh. So I was pointing out that in our minds, we ask for brachas. But if Hashem himself came to you and gave you a bracha, what are you busy begging the Sari Shalisa, the Samuel for a bracha? Says the Ish Kodesh, and absolutely, why is he asking for a bracha?
What does it mean, Hashem himself?
Hashem blessed Yaakov Avinu. Hashem already was Mevarich Yaakov. So why does he need a bracha from the angel? He got a bracha already. We could ask further. The fight ended. He won. So what? So then, okay, maybe. Why would you? Oh, that's the other question. You want a bracha? You want a bracha for the Yetzer Hara? You want a bracha for the Yetzer Tov? Okay, so maybe the answer is fakert. The Samach Mem is more powerful. What do you want to say? No? Let's see. So let's hear what the Ish Kodesh says. Says the Ish Kodesh the following teretz. Says the Ish Kodesh. Avol Maisa Avos Simin Labanim. We know whatever happens to the Avos, many different mahalchim. What exactly does it mean? Maisa Avos Simin Labanim. Most basic understanding is whatever happens to the Avos, at some level filters down and happens with us. Va'acher shenifgash im hamalach v'yavik imay. After Yaakov Avinu, he encounters the Yetzer Hara and he fights with him. V'gam noga b'kaf yirechai. And he's injured. He's injured right now. V'rotza hamalach lelechas. So there was a battle. He's down. He's injured. Now the malach wants to leave. Amar Yaakov. What happens if the same thing happens to my children? What do you mean the same thing happens to my children? They're going to have tsaros. They're going to have a battle. They're going to be maimed. And they're going to be wounded. Says Yaakov, I never want a Jew to go through a battle, to go through a confrontation, to go through a mess, be hurt, be bleeding, be on the floor, and do what? Nothing. I want this to be their Yeshua. And you didn't succumb to the enemy. Here's the line. So what happens? Let's play out in our minds. You have a battle. There's a temptation. There's an asayin. You fought, you fell. You fought, you fell. You fought, you got injured. You fought, you won. The Yetzer Hara is leaving. What do we think? Where are we holding right now? We're treading, we think. We're just surviving. Omeata yeshuvu el matzavim sheyakoidim shesavlu. What do we think? We're back to the place we started. We had a confrontation. We got injured. We survived. So we're treading water. Says Yaakov Avinu, loikein rak lo yeshlachacha ki im beirachtani. Sha'acharei hayisurim. What should happen after any problem? Yeshem Hashem b'Yeshua. Lo yirak sheyispatru mitzareseim bolvad. Says the Ish Kodesh, a fascinating idea. Anytime one is going to have an issue, and everyone has issues throughout their entire life, myriads of times throughout the day. How do we approach issues? How do we approach problems? We had a problem. We fell. We got up. We got injured. Okay, I'm maintaining. Says Yaakov Avinu, I don't ever want a Jew to go through a problem and to walk away thinking he's on the same level. Because he's not. Kim beirachtani, you're going to bless me. And for all eternity, we're going to learn that when you go through that battle and you fight and you're Sarisa and you're Klal Yisrael and you get damaged and you're bleeding, you're not at the same level. You are beirachtani. You just became blessed. You just became Klal Yisrael. So Yaakov Avinu is begging the angel, don't leave without blessing me because Maisa Avay Simon Labanim. No one should ever go through anything in life and think when it's over, I'm back to where I was. I'm even keel. Average. No. The mere fact that you were Sarisa, the fact that you fought and now the temptation left you, you know where you end up? 2 minus 2 is not 0. You're back at a 10. You destroyed the impediment, you destroyed the enemy, and ultimately, what does that do to you? It gives you a bracha. Now, this idea, in reality, is an empowering idea. Because what this is teaching us is that at every stage in our life, whatever we go through, so we always know about the fact Shavi Yipal Tzadik will come, like we spoke about, and we know the fact that we have to fight, and we know the fact we just mentioned that we're Sarisa, that Klal Yisrael is a nation of fighters, but now we have to realize it's so much greater than that. What happens after you fight? I think we all think what happens is we're back where we started. The answer is no. since it's all about the fight, and the truth is, no one less than the Mesilas Yesharim, the Ramchal says, you know what the Iker Mitzias Adam, and Rav Shimon Russell, who I was told is on the front cover of this week's Mishpacha. I think I mentioned last week how he wrote an incredible book on parenting, which is probably floating somewhere here. He enlightened me with this Mesilas Yesharim. What's the Iker Mitzias Adam? So everyone knows. If I were to take a poll, number one, L'kayim HaMitzvahs. Gevaldik. Number two, La'avoid. What does La'avoid mean? Serve Hashem. So we got it all, no? We got the three pillars of the world. Mitzvahs, Torah, and Avodah. Torah, Avodah, Gemilas Chasadim. The Ramchal doesn't finish there. He says there's another Iker Mitzias Adam. What's another Iker Mitzias Adam aside from the three pillars of the world? The La'amoid B'nisayin. The Amada B'nisayin, the Sarisa, the battle is why we're on this world. The temptations, the times that we fall, the times that we succumb, the issues that we have are not afterthoughts. They are the reason we are created. And once we realize that equation, number one, it's the reason why we're created. Number two, what is Klal Yisrael? People that fight. But number three, perhaps, and that's going to be the chiddush I hope of tonight of the Eish Kodesh, is that when it's all over and it's all said and done, and you go to sleep at night, and you tell yourself, oh, but today I didn't have a mincha. Oh, I should have gotten out of bed, but I didn't. But today I messed up and I said something not nice. And today I messed up and I looked at the place I shouldn't have looked. And today I said the message I didn't want to send, and I didn't have kavanah, and I didn't do the chesed, and all the millions of issues that we have. You know what happens when you recognize that? That means you're still fighting. That means you didn't check out. And if you didn't check out, you know what happens? You go to sleep not at the same place. You would think sum total of today. What was sum total of today? A miss mincha, an aveira, I looked at the wrong place, I said the wrong thing. But if you go to sleep, and you go to sleep with the recognition, I'm still fighting, the sum total of today was bracha, was ki'im birachtani, you're at a higher level. That's the equation of life. Number one, we were created Iker Mitzias, is to withstand temptations. Number two, the Yisrael, what is Klal Yisrael? The battle itself. And number three, what's the equals? What's the sum total? Bracha, that we end up at a higher place as long as we're always still fighting. And I'll conclude with a nice word from Ereshiva Yechiel Per, someone who's in Shidduchim for many, many years. Came to him and said, what am I supposed to do? Girl's already 30 years old. He said, as long as you date, you will get married. What do you mean? As long as you date, you will get married. In that story, Kachava, the girl got engaged, got married, whatever the age was, 32, 33. What's pshat? As long as you're fighting, as long as you're still part of Klal Yisrael, as long as you're still trying to be Oymid Ben Isayin, you will walk away with the most incredible bracha. Shkayach